YouTube, I'm back. I keep promising you guys more content, and I'm trying to deliver. Schedule's kind of tough, but I'm tired of making excuses. I'm gonna keep dropping more content for you guys, more reactions, more or less, and more of the podcast from the Reverend Ford Studios. Check that out on their channels. Shout out to the Reverend Ford Studios. And those boys are doing some amazing things, amazing content. So today I am reacting to a video by Soft White Underbelly. It's titled "A Divorce Attorney's Thoughts on Love and Marriage." I guess the guy's name is James Saxton. So I saw this video. I was watching a little bit of it and on the lead attorney's channel. Shout out to the lead attorney. And the guy was going in, so I'm like, you know what? Let me do a quick reaction to this one too while it's still fresh, while it's still hot, while it's still popping. Before I begin, guys, if you guys can do me the solid of liking, subscribing, and commenting, I appreciate all the love, all the support. For me to keep doing this content, it'd be nice to see more people subscribe, and that would like give me more of a incentive. I work like two different things, two different jobs, two different businesses too. So I'm tired of making excuses, but let's get down to the reaction.
I had a period of time after my divorce where I was really ambitious when it came to women, but then it felt like a job. Like it felt like a job after a while, where I was like, God, it's like enough. It's kind of enough, Like it's like when you've eaten so much that you just go like, ugh. I got that way with pussy. Like it really was like I just had enough. Like it was fine. I was like, this is great, but
when you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe your libido is strong. It makes you insane.
Yeah. I was not. I definitely was.
As we age, we mellow.
Yeah, which I think is great. Although I have to tell you, one of the most depressing divorces I ever did was a guy who was, I think, 92.
Oh, geez.
And what made it depressing is that he had left his wife of, 50-something, 60-something years for a younger woman, a woman in her 50s.
That's insane thing about like that you can get rid of 50 years just for a new like piece of ass. It's crazy to think about how men think, and this is kind of true. Like I keep telling people this, like you're only as faithful as your options. So if you have no options right now, of course you're gonna be faithful. Like people with no options have no other options but to be faithful. Like I don't get why this is a hard concept to believe.
And I just remember what was sad about it to me was this guy is still being led around by his dick. Like I thought, oh my God, like I'm gonna be chained to an idiot forever. Like I'm gonna forever be led around by my dick. And I remember thinking like, no, I really thought that at like 90 something, I would just, like a beautiful woman would walk by and I go, oh, there's a human being. Like there would be no...
You can appreciate it without...
Yeah, there would just be no sense of like, yeah, that would be gone from me. And this guy's proof that 90 something years old and you're still thinking with your dick.
We're doomed.
That terrified me. It really did.
A quick side note, this guy is tatted up loose. Like look at his arms. I've never seen a lawyer so tatted up my whole entire life. So he's been through some stuff. Like there's no way you had to see me tattoos and not seen some war stories or something like that. It's crazy.
It actually upset me because I thought at some point I'd get to experience what it's like to just be free.
You live in New York where there's a financial industry. There's all kinds of industries here.
Oh yeah.
But to me, sometimes I wonder if female attractiveness isn't the highest valued commodity in our
100% it is. 100%.
It is.
Yeah, of course.
Because men are becoming rich and powerful in order to get a woman.
Of course.
The woman they want.
Of course. What an attractive woman, and when I say attractive, I don't just mean attractive, I mean even just sexually confident. I mean, what an unbelievably lucrative career that is. Mm. Like I do divorces for people that, a woman walks out with $200-300 million. He was an analyst at Goldman Sachs who built a hedge fund and then sold it and then used his trading algorithm to build it up to $500 million. She was hot and slept with him for a while and then stopped.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to tell people too sometimes. Like a rich man is the equivalent to when it comes like to sexual marketplace, a rich man is the equivalent to a beautiful girl. So they have the same amount of capital. Like a beautiful girl, a very like confident, beautiful girl has the same amount of capital when it comes to the sexual marketplace as a rich man. That's the way it is. That's the way the marketplace works.
And started sleeping with other people and playing tennis and having Botox. And she's going to get half. Like, that's fucking incredible. Like, do you know what he had to do to get that? And what she had to, I'll fuck that guy for $200 million. Are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. That's incredible. Like, and God bless. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the rules of the game.
It's the rules of the game. You can't be mad at the game.
You can't argue that that's not easier than going to Harvard.
No, for sure. But then the payoff.
And that's what it is too. It's like, not all girls are gonna get this treatment because there's not a lot of guys who have that kind of like access to resources. So if you are one of those girls, like I'm never mad at the game. Like we all play different types of games. Like between the male and the females, we all have our own games to play. You just gotta learn where you stand at, where you at the totem pole, and make sure you stay within your lane. Like if you're middle class or you're an average person at best, you gotta stay with the average people. If you're if you're an ugly girl, then you gotta lower your standards. We all can't shoot above our own standards or above our own levels.
The trade-off for that is that when they hit a certain age, the value decreases.
Right.
Yeah.
Any stock, if you hold it too long,
yeah,
it's going to go down.
Thing.
So play the stock the right way. I mean, and that's what I think. If we were a little more honest about the nature of male-female coupling, I mean, right now we can't even establish what is gender. We can't establish any of that anymore. So divorce is becoming incredibly hilarious and fraught.
Well, to me, what is, like, sometimes you have to stand back and look at things to get the real perspective on what it is.
Sure.
And sometimes you look back at marriage. So when was it invented? Like 2000 BC, roughly. And the life expectancy of humans back then was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And marriage was created for
land ownership
and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to die in your early 20s or whatever, then getting married at 16, 18 makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a distinction that has to be made between pair bonds and marriage, right? Marriage is a government concept. Marriage is a contract. Marriage is a legal status.
Talk to him.
Pair bonds, right? Two people go in it together, saying, hey, there's 7.3 billion people in the world, and the two of us, we're gonna lock up together and we're gonna try to hold hands and get through this thing.
Until we're 80 years old.
Well, until whatever, I mean, what's interesting is, first of all marriages end. They end in death or divorce. But
Talk to him.
Like every marriage ends. So it's one of the only things that you go, wow, I really hope this ends in us dying. Most things, that's not the desired outcome. But in marriage, you hope marriage will end in death. You hope that you will be together until one or both of you die. But all marriages end.
But
so
as a guy, as a provider, if you knew it was going to end and you were going to have to give away half your money, you might think twice about doing it.
Well, I think that's what makes being a divorce lawyer interesting.
I don't think guys would think twice because we all know the stats. Like any guy right now who's like who's trying to get married and does not know the stats, you have to be living on the rock. Like you have to know that the odds of your marriage lasting is like a flip of a coin. Like you literally have a 50% chance of you getting divorced. It's at this point in time, it's more probable that you'll get divorced than it is for you to stay together till the day you die or to one of you guys die. So guys are gonna get married regardless. It's just the way the world works for some reason.
Is that it's a lot of what a court has to do is disregard what happened in the marriage, because the truth is at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Like you're never gonna get there. Yeah, well, he's fucking his secretary. Right, because you were not sleeping with me anymore. I have a client whose wife acknowledges she didn't sleep with him for 6 years.
That's a sin.
What did you think was going on if you didn't sleep with him for 6 years? So delegate. You've delegated that responsibility. If you don't want to have sex with him, that's okay. No one should force you to have sex with this person. Let him go have sex with someone else. You don't want to do the laundry, hire someone to do the laundry. If you don't want to mow your own lawn, hire someone to mow the lawn. Delegate that responsibility. And this guy wasn't even sleeping around. He was going to those hand job places, where you get a massage and you get the most pathetic thing in the world, the most innocuous.
He's 100% right. Like, there's no purpose of you having a wife that you can't sleep with. That's kind of like counterintuitive. Like, why would I be stuck with you for the rest of my life and I cannot sleep with you? That makes no sense at all. Like, if I have a wife and I can't sleep with her, I'm gonna get somebody I can sleep with. It doesn't make. I don't know, man. I don't know how people do this thing.
Innocuous thing in the world. He didn't have a girlfriend. There was no love involved.
I would have had hella girlfriends. You out your damn mind.
For $50. Like, that's sad. Like, I mean, first of all, hand jobs, like, that's an outdated technology. That's like a Betamax. Like, who even does that anymore? But he was doing this, and he just thought, okay, that's fine. she had the indignation to say he shouldn't be a custodial parent. He's a terrible person because he's doing this. And it was like, wait, how is that much different than going to a strip club? How is that much more different? Because we just, he was like, well, should I deny it? And I was like, is it true? And he's like, well, yeah. I said, no, we should own it. Let's go in and say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic. My wife didn't sleep with me for 6 years, and I'm human. And I wanted to have sex still. I didn't want to blow up my life. I didn't want to screw up my kids and have my kids have divorced parents. So I thought, all right, she's clearly not interested in me anymore. I'm not going to have a girlfriend and get caught up in all the things where people could get hurt and there's feelings and fatal attraction and stuff. I'm just going to go. It'll be transactional, like going to a strip club or anything else. And is it a little pathetic that I'm a guy who makes $1 million a year in finance and I'm paying someone $50 to jack me off? Yeah, that's kind of pathetic. But you know what? I figured out. But to suggest that means I'm a bad parent, that has nothing to do with my parenting at all, period. So, and thankfully the judge agreed with me on that one. But I really do think that the idea, I don't think, if you break it down fundamentally, 56% of marriages end in divorce.
Talk to him.
Like, think about, that's the ones that end in divorce. So how many people, what percentage stay together for the kids?
Jeez.
Or because they don't want to give away half their shit. Another 10%? That's conservative.
Conservative.
But let's say 20% then, okay?
That's at least right.
You now have a technology that fails 76% of the time. That's insane.
Yeah, this is why you have to think twice. You got to think twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times before you think about committing to somebody for the rest of your life. I know it sounds cute. I know it sounds nice. It sounds insane to me, but I'm kind of a different breed, so you got to think twice. If you're a hardworking person, it's cold out here, man.
That's insane. That's more likely than not.
Yeah.
76%. If I told you there's a 76% chance when you walk out the door today, you're going to get hit in the head with a bowling ball, you would not go out, or you'd wear a helmet for sure. But people just continue to get married. Not only do they continue to get married, there's a presumption that you should get married. And if you don't get married, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So if you've got a girlfriend and you've been with her for 5 years, and you say to someone, we're getting married, they go, oh, that's great. They don't go, why? You're happy. Why would you get married? Like, everything's going fine. Why would you put yourself through that? Why would you run that risk? If you say to someone, we've been together 5 years and we've decided we're not going to get married. We're going to move in together, but we're not going to get married. Ooh, what's wrong? You have intimacy issues? What's your problem? Meanwhile, 56% end in divorce. It's literally fits the legal definition of negligence. It's a negligent behavior. The way you define negligence in law school is when what you lose by not doing something, okay, is lower than the risk of harm. It's what's called a BPL analysis. So the burden of not doing a thing is lower than the likelihood, the probability of harm. So BPL, so burden, probability, and loss. Marriage is an inherently negligent activity.
Jeez.
It's like owning a lion. Like the likelihood of someone getting hurt seriously by this is very, very high. No one ever says it to you because why? Because, and I would say something. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still get misty-eyed at weddings. Like, I still really, there's something in me that goes like, maybe it'll work out for these two.
You still believe in love?
Sweet. I absolutely believe in love. I think love is wonderful. But love and marriage have very little to do with each other. I don't think there's much of a correlation there. And I think that's where we got off track. Like, I believe in pair bonds. I don't think I can learn everything I need to know about myself from myself. I think having someone around me who sees my blind spots, and that doesn't have to be a romantic partner. That could be a friend. That could be any number of things. But there is something wonderful about romantic.
All right, I'm going to cut it here because we're getting to the 15-minute mark. I don't want to make this video too long. But I want to continue doing this reaction. And if I get some support, if I get some likes, if I get some views, if I get at least 50 views on this video, I'll do another half of this, another 50 minutes of this, and continue on. Hope you guys enjoy this. What he says is like, he's speaking facts, like, and he's making me rethink marriage. I'm always like careful of marriage too, but he's making me really think about marriage and how it would benefit me in my life. Because right now I'm doing my own thing. I'm like, starting my business. I'm doing content on the internet. So it's like, for me to do marriage right now, that sounds kind of insane to me. But Hope you guys enjoy the content. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Till next time, YouTube. Peace.